Hello there. So I thought I'd take a few minutes in this beautiful pine forest. Smells amazing. And tell you about the different ways that I day hike. So if you watched my video from last week, you heard me mention Ragni, one of my co-workers, who frequently asks me questions about what I bring, what I eat, when I'm hiking. And I covered a little bit of that in last week's video, but I thought I'd concentrate specifically on day hiking in this video. So I'm going to do this kind of in two parts. The first part is how I used to hike before I started making videos, and then the last part will be how I hike now that I'm bringing the camera gear and all of that. It's a little bit different. So how I used to hike would be, I would say if I did 5 miles or less on a day hike, I would either bring nothing or a water bottle. That would be it. And it depended upon how hot it was. Usually nothing unless it was a really hot day. So if I was hiking, say, 5 to 15 miles, I knew I was probably going to be hungry and more thirsty. So I would either bring something like this little fanny pack, a cheap little pack I picked up years ago. I don't even know where, but it has 2 water bottles and one still has a T on it and one still has an M on it for Maggie. That's a good memory. And then I could put a few snacks in here. You know, stuff I typically eat. Protein bar, kind of like a candy bar, really. Trail mix, meat stick, something like that. That'd pretty much do me 15 miles. Generally, on a day hike, that would be 15 miles or less. But every once in a while, I really wanted to do more. And occasionally, I wanted to get out there and just really see what I could do. Maybe once or twice a year, I'd do 30-plus mile days. So on those like 15 to, let's say 30 to 33 mile days, that's a really long day, by the way. And that would have to be when the days are longer. Then I would bring a little bit more because I knew I was going to need it. I'd bring a larger pack. Now this is still a small pack, maybe, I don't know, maybe 18 liters. And I could bring more water. So these are 1 liter bottles. These would be full. This is my dirty water bottle, and this is my Sawyer Squeeze water filter on it. So 2 liters really isn't going to make it through an entire day. Especially in the summertime, I'm probably drinking at least 3, probably 4 liters during that day. So what I would do is hopefully find some water, fill this up, put the Sawyer Squeeze on it, squeeze the water through the filter into my clean water bottle, fill this up again, put this on it, and then I could just drink straight from the bottle through the filter. Now, then I would bring snacks, and that was really pretty much it. So I talked to my wife and told her what I was doing and kind of, she knows how I hike, which is not the way she hikes, by the way, and asked her if she had any ideas. Boy, she had some ideas. So let's talk about her ideas because I think they're really beneficial, and she said there's absolutely no way Ragni is going to hike 5 miles with just 1 water bottle and have a good time. She's probably right. So I've always been kind of the theory of just bring exactly what I need, or as little as I could get away with, and then I'm kind of unencumbered and just free to enjoy the hike. Now, I will have to say my wife hikes with the grandkids quite a bit, and that changes things a lot. So I have a list. Okay, so not only are these the things that I should be bringing on a longer hike, but then she's got things that she would bring in addition to this. Wow, there's a lot in this pack. Not just a handful of snacks anymore. One advantage to this too is if it's kind of in those shoulder seasons and I have extra clothing and it warms up in the day, I could take off my jacket or my knit cap, throw it in the pack, put it back on later in the evening when it starts to cool down again. Oh, one thing on the 30-mile days I would bring, which I forgot to mention, is a headlamp. rarely brought batteries for it, which was not very smart, honestly. But if I was doing 30 miles in a day, I was hiking in the dark. Towards the end of the day, I was finishing up at night, sometimes maybe as late as 9 or 10 o'clock. Okay, so let's see what else. Jackie said I should be bringing a buff, and I will admit I have brought this on some shorter hikes too in the summertime, because I could put it, I keep my hair short most of the time, and when that sun's really wearing on you, you can put it over your head, maybe even cover your ears if they're getting sunburned. Soak up the sweat to keep it out of your eyes, or just use it as a sweat rag. Electrolytes, especially on a hot day or a long day, I'd bring a couple of these. We're totally into my wife's territory now. Toilet paper. Well, this is my poop kit with a trowel, toilet paper, some hand wipes, hand sanitizer, and all that. Extra batteries for the headlamp. That is a really good idea. And a small first aid kit. So I just threw together a couple of things. Body Glide. So Body Glide is to help with chafing. Especially on a hot, sweaty day, your skin's rubbing together, your thighs usually, at the top of your thighs or your butt cheeks. And you're going to need to put some of this on, or you're going to have some serious chafing and pain for a while after that. Ibuprofen, I've done that a few times. It helps with the foot pain you're going to get on a really long day. And Leukotape. Leukotape is great. I just threw a box in, but I'd usually just wrap up a bit and throw it in there. Leukotape is a tape where the adhesive isn't super strong like duct tape would be, and you can wrap hot spots on your feet to prevent blisters. Hopefully when you feel a hot spot, you're going to wrap that before it becomes a blister, but you can also wrap a blister with the Leukotape and just help it prevent it from getting worse than it already is. And I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some stuff, so I'm going to take a moment and look at my wife's list. Let's see, multiple water bottles. She brings a larger backpack, probably along the lines of this, or maybe bigger, especially when she's with the grandkids, because as it warms up and she begins to collect their jackets, she has a place to throw them. Snacks. She would bring nature books to help them identify birds and plants and things like that. These are great ideas, by the way. Walkie-talkies, so if they are separated a little bit, they can talk to each other, and the kids just love that. A small first aid kit, but she would bring like bandages and a bottle of hand sanitizer so the kids could clean up before they eat their snacks, and extra ponytail holders. And she'd wear a hat. She said so on a hot day it would keep her hair up off her neck and everything. And then she'd bring some sketch pads and colored pencils or crayons, so when the kids are taking a break they could draw something. It's really cute. It's really sweet. I've hiked with them a few times and it's a lot of fun. I have to say it's more of just a leisurely walk in the park, and it's a lot of fun, and the kids just love it. So thank God I'm married. Probably wouldn't have made it this far down the road if I wasn't. Kudos, Jackie. You're keeping me alive. Okay. So those are kind of the basics of what I did before making videos for a day hike. Oh, I did forget one thing. A poncho. So what I like about a poncho is that it's not as confining. This is a rain jacket. It's not as confining and hot as a rain jacket. You have a little bit of ventilation under it, and it covers your pack. So instead of worrying about anything getting wet or, waterproofing everything in dry sacks that's in your pack, you're covered all the way around with this. And it's not that big. This is a large one. You can get much smaller ponchos. Oh, and there's still room for a couple of jackets in here, so not bad. And it's still a lightweight, small pack. I like that. So what I do on these small packs, if they come with some kind of a webbing hip belt or something like that, or sternum strap, is I usually just take that off because I'm not going to use any of that anyway, but some people find that more comfortable. Now let's move on to one advantage to this pine forest is I'm hoping there are no ticks. Generally they're not, at least not compared to a deciduous forest with all the leaf litter and everything and grasses and stuff. I'm pretty sure I covered my wife's stuff here. Oh, the basic first aid kit. Ibuprofen, Benadryl, that's not a bad idea in case somebody has an allergic reaction to a bee sting or something like that. Hand sanitizer, bandages, Leukotape. So I pretty much had that covered. That's a basic first aid kit. And of course, if you have any medications or you would think of adding some other things to it. Some people go as far as carrying trauma kits. I definitely recommend you train and get certified before you bring something like that. But I understand why some people would. Okay, so it's going to be a quick video. I thought it was going to be a lot longer, but I'm sure you're happy with that. Okay, so short hike, 10 miles, something like that, maybe 15. I've got 2 water bottle holders. It'll hold a 1-liter bottle each, so I could do the same setup as that. But this is a camera backpack, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with this. And I started carrying this maybe last year. Now this would be when it's warmer, so I'm not worried about jackets and stuff like that. What I have in here is water, all the compartments for lenses, batteries, and whatever I'm bringing, and then I could throw snacks into this pocket on the front. And then in the shoulder seasons in the winter, I'll carry something larger. Think of this as just kind of a basic school bag right here. Multiple pockets, got a place to put my glasses, and I think I put a couple of lenses in here. So the lenses themselves don't need any protection when they're in here. I'll sometimes have notes on things I want to cover in a video, what I want to see, or just things I want to talk about. Maybe a map of the area I'm in, and smaller lens. I have a wide angle on the camera now on a tripod. That's my go-to setup, and a telephoto lens. I use this for wildlife usually, and I'm pretty sure that covers that. Short and sweet. So this is everything I'll bring on a day hike. It's all weather dependent, seasonal dependent, and really more or less my mood for the day, you know. I mean, sometimes I'll really just want to take a leisurely stroll. Sometimes I'm just bushwhacking all over the place and it's going to be more rugged. One thing I did forget is everything I carry in my pockets. I always carry a folding knife, wallet, phone, and a Swiss Army knife, which helps with the scissors for cutting the Leukotape, things like that. Then I carry some pepper spray and my car keys, a handkerchief, and in this pocket I carry a lighter and chapstick and a small flashlight, which I used in last week's video. So I got out there, it's pitch black, it's before daylight, and the batteries are dead in my headlamp. So I had to use this to put in new batteries in the headlamp. This is very bright, by the way. It doesn't look like it would be, but it is. And it's got a clip on it, so if I'm wearing a ball cap, I could clip it onto the cap and use it like a headlamp. It's a great flashlight. I have this extra pocket, and I usually put trash in it, something like that. And there you go, Bob's your uncle. We're done. I hope you enjoyed this. And if I ever do take my videos and divide them into playlists, I think that this series of videos will be called Ragni's Playlist. Look for that in the future. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye-bye.